So I first heard of you a few years ago with She, and it came up randomly, I think on Spotify, and I was like, who is this? And that song is beautiful and obviously very queer and about like love and like it's just so pretty. I just want to ask like the inspirations behind that song and if there was a story behind it that you wanted to share.
Sure, yeah. What's really funny is when I wrote it, I didn't know my sexuality. I just said I wrote it as a song about a girl who likes a girl, which is what I thought everyone else did. I was like, well, it's just about my girl crush that everyone else has. And like all of this pain is just normal kind of pain. So I didn't really know that it was a queer song. I just thought it was like about an interesting topic that like not a lot of people sang about. Um and then now obviously, yeah, like maybe 10 years later. No. Yeah, like almost 10 years later, I'm like, ah, yeah, that is a gay song, a bi song. So funny. But yeah, I just fancied my friend and liked writing about like taboo subjects. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting thinking about like when we think about like LGBTQ like stars and people in music and how they kind of have to navigate the difficulties of navigating the difficulties of like breaking into the industry as a queer artist. um it can be challenging, and I think it's really cool that you were kind of like openly yourself no matter even before you had a label, it sounds like. And I wondered if you can talk about like just why it was important for you to just be yourself even before you even knew. It's
Yeah, so I mean, I think I love, or maybe I loved like sharing and being open and writing about interesting things. I think having grown up a little now, I'm learning boundaries and I'm yeah, putting my walls up and protecting myself with more things. But I still think it is important for me to share as much as I'm comfortable with. Just because I don't know, life is so interesting, and I like connecting with people and feeling less alone in the things that I feel. And obviously, there's a downside to that. Like sometimes you'll share something vulnerable and and squishy, and people will just sort of tread on it. But then there are people who don't, and that is really valuable.
I guess that's the terrifying thing about like making art and putting it out into the world. Yeah. Um have you seen, like, speaking of like connection, like the memes, like I see a lot of like random things on like TikTok or Twitter that will be like, are you like a girl in red gay or a Dodie gay?
Yeah. I feel so like I'm like, wow, I'm allowed in. It's funny. I think my internalized biphobia is like, no, no, not you, but yeah, it's so funny.
You are. I think it's just funny, like, because it's just kind of like different expressions of queerness and how like queer people get attached to different, like, like, and I think it's really fun. I just wondered if you ever seen them, and I guess you have, and what you think about them, what you think about people connecting to your music in that way.
It's so sweet. I'm almost envious of people who are like more openly gay or bi than I was, or maybe even am. Um, but yeah, I'm still honored to be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all kind of like you find your own way to express yourself no matter what it is, and yeah, some people are more forward with it, some people aren't, but I mean, I don't think that just there's like levels to it, because we're all still queer. We're all still
Yeah.
love.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Let's see. Was there like this is a fun question to ask sometimes. Was there like a moment that you knew that you were into girls? Like was there like a movie or like a song or anything cute like that?
I think my experience is really strange. I'm not sure whether this is a usual thing. I think I do see a lot of like videos or TikToks about it. Maybe specifically for like girls who grew up like in the noughties. I grew up in a place called Essex, which wasn't exactly liberal. And I was kind of taught through media that like girl on girl action was like attractive and a cool like special thing. And the girl crushes were real. So So I knew that I fancied girls from a really young age. I don't really know how to talk about that, but like I just like it, I'd wank over girls like and like but I just thought that was so normal. I just didn't really understand. Um and then yeah, I don't know, like as I started talking about my girl crushes, I think my friends would kind of be like like raise an eyebrow and be like, "Are you gay?" And I'd be like, "Oh no 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 no, just a crush, like a girl crush." And like everyone, and then I'd like only make out with girls at parties, or actually like kiss more girls than guys at parties, just because like I wanted to like do that and have fun. And I think I blamed it on like the idea that it was for show for all the guys. And then like one, if I kissed like one too many girls, again, my friends would be like, "Are you gay?" And I'd be like, "No no 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 no, it was just for the party, I was just drunk, blah blah blah." So yeah, it was quite funny by the time I came out in my like 20s to all of those friends. They were like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
we done you." Yeah.
that's so funny. It's very like I remember when I Kissed a Girl by Katy Perry came out when I was in high school, and it was a big deal because it was like the first big pop song of my life that talked about like experimenting,
Yeah.
and it
But
kind of like
that was the around the same time of like all of these like girl crushes. Like that was a song that to me was like, "Oh yeah, see like my girl crushes and me making out with girls is just a normal thing. Doesn't mean it's bi or gay or anything like that. I just like the taste of cherry chapstick."
her impact. Yeah, it really did open a door. That's so fun. That's so I love that. It's her power.
Yeah. Yes. Oh,
The album I listened to it. I was listening to it when you when you answered the call. It's beautiful. Oh my gosh, so many songs I'm just like obsessed with, and when especially, and I Kissed Someone It Wasn't You, and Cool Girl I've been playing on repeat for like the past month or so.
oh my
Um,
God.
I want to ask, like, was Cool Girl inspired by like Gone Girl at all? Because that's immediately where my mind goes. Okay.
Yes, yes, it was. That phrase came from the monologue. And the specifically the bitter way in which she'd say it, or rather the like blasé bitch way of like cool girl. She like spat out the words. And I really took that as inspiration. Yeah, definitely that phrase. It's kind of like, yeah, it's pissy. I'm like, cool girl. The cool girl she'll be different. She'll be quiet. She'll be all of these things. Yeah, definitely inspired by Rosamund Pike's wee monologue there.
Yeah. Iconic monologue.
Oh,
Can you tell me about the music video? Because it's interesting. Because it's like it kind of well, my interpretation of it was like, I mean, first of all, it's beautiful, but kind of like you're kind of it seems like you're kind of battling this idea of like wanting to be the cool girl, but then like being like, wait, no, I don't. Like I don't know. I wanted to see your thought process behind it, I guess.
yeah. I mean, you've nailed it. That's completely it. It's like a battle of like wanting to be at the forefront of like all of these women's almost like playing part in a competition of like I'll be the coolest. um and then like especially like there's a lot of like canon, like there's a bit where I'm like I do the actions and I kind of imagine that everyone's following me because I'm the cool girl, and then at the end I sort of like zap everyone down, and then see that everyone's like looking after themselves and having self-care, and it's like I've realized that the real winners of this competition is the women who look after themselves and focus on their own journeys. Like that's a part when no one's in sync because they're all on their own journeys, and then I try and copy her and I'm like, oh, it's actually quite nice.
Mm,
Yeah, so it's about a multitude of things, but you nailed it pretty much.
yeah, it's such a beautiful video.
Thank you. I kept all of the trousers. I'm not kidding. I know.
Every day, one for every day.
Yes. Yeah.
So funny. Um, I want to talk about Rainbow. I was like, I wasn't expecting it when I was just played it the album through, and then I heard it, and I was like, it's. I mean, it's very queer, very like self love, finding the light of in yourself. Can you just talk about it in general and
For
yeah,
sure, yeah.
maybe like
Um,
the value of like LGBTQ, like these kind of uplifting love. I don't know what that means to you, or what you hope it means to people listening.
yeah. So I wrote it I guess a few years ago now, like maybe 3 years ago. Or yeah. And it's funny, at the time I think I concentrated more on um, yeah, the idea that it was about like falling into this wonderful community and that like makes you feel better and at least it makes you feel like special and magical. And I don't think I really understood or delved deeper into the verse lyrics, which have so much more like shame and confusion and conflict in them. I think that's something I'm dealing with a lot now, kind of like playing catch up, understanding that I have a lot of like internalized biphobia that I have to work through. I think I came out quick when I realized what it was and I was so excited, but now I think I still have a lot of stuff to work through. So I think a lot of that is in Rainbow, just like this feeling of resentment. Like I was brought up in a line, but I walk in circles. Like I was built in a different. I was built to be in a different world, and I'm still figuring that out. Like it's really confusing to me that like my truth is different to what I was told. Um, but yeah, there is definitely like a warm brightness to the choruses, which is like um, well, admit like I don't feel alone in this. Yeah, I wanted it to be very uplifting and like at least there's a community in this. At least there's a good side. At least there's color in this rainbow. And it doesn't even have to apply to LGBTQ plus um like that community. It could be about like anything that anyone struggles with, whether that's I don't know mental health or chronic pain or something else that's difficult. There's always a community and a connection in struggle, and I think that's beautiful.
I agree. Yeah, this album is just so honest and vulnerable and beautiful, and I'm excited for it to like be out into the world. And
Me too.
yeah, and this is your first studio album, right? It's been like you've been making music for years, but this is your first studio album. How does that feel to be this marker?
It feels right. I think I needed all of that time before to not practice, but like build and grow. And yeah, now I think this definitely is my sound. I feel very proud of these songs and yeah, the way they land. So yeah, I just can't wait. I really just can't wait. Yeah.
Dude. Um, let's see. Do you have what's two things you're looking forward to the most in 20, hopefully this year when things open up?
20 more year. um, two things. I mean, oh man. Uh, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna say the most obvious things here, but number one, like my album being out and just finally being able to like let go of holding on to it in private and be in it with everyone for a while, but then also taking a big step away from holding on to it. Like obviously, it'll still be a part of my life and I'll be playing gigs around it, which will lead on to my second point. But at least I think I can stop being in this like secret world. I think I can be free. And then yeah, playing shows. Oh my god, I just can't believe how lucky I was to have that in my life. I just can't. I truly took it for granted, and I know like everyone has been saying this recently, but it seems silly that I was allowed to do that because it was so good. I just can't believe I was lucky enough to be able to like I don't know, be in a room like connecting with thousands of people who are all sharing and a feeling. It feels like spiritual, and I think that is a place where I process and I pray and I like yeah share. It's a magical thing.
It is. I miss it so much. I
Me too.
yeah, if you're ever in LA, I'll be there.
Oh my god.
Um, but yeah, thank you so much for spending this time with me and talking to me. I really appreciate it. I'm done. I don't have any more questions, but
Oh
thank you.
my god.
I appreciate the time.
Of course. Thank you so much. I loved your questions. They're so nice.